In this video, we're going to talk about four main economic terms. These terms are going to be Seared Asparagus, opportunity cost, we have diminishing returns, and marginality. All four of these are very important concepts whenever it comes to economics. Let's dive right on in, shall we? So the first one is going to be Seared Asparagus. This is a Latin term loosely translated to mean everything else being equal. So what does this really mean? Well, it means that we are going to develop economic models where we're going to allow one variable to change, or we're going to change one variable and allow another variable to change, or keeping everything else constant. Just like if you remember back to something like biology or chemistry, whenever you did experiments, you had one variable that changed and everything else remained the same, and then you had one variable that you were looking at to see how the first variable changed, the second variable. So that's what we have to have in economics to be able to rationally look at something. So whenever we develop an economic model, we'll say, let's say we develop an economic model and we develop an economic law saying, like for example, law of demand. We say that in the law of demand, as prices rise, then people are going to buy less of this product. Seared Asparagus. Meaning let's hold everything else constant. Let's look at just how the prices change and how the buying patterns change. Well, we have to throw Seared Asparagus in there because what if something else happens? Well, what if the price of the good goes up, but everybody else's income goes up 3 times as what the price of the good? Well, now you see people buying more of the product because they have more disposable income. Well, that defeats the whole law of supply and demand. Or defeats the whole law of demand. Now prices have gone up, but people are buying more. Well, something else happened. Something else affected that. So we have to say Seared Asparagus at the end of that law in order to say, yeah, people may be buying more, but something else happened to violate that. But if we only looked at just the price and just the quantity, and we looked at just how one variable, the price, changes another, the quantity, then that law would still hold true. And because economics is based off of patterns, human patterns, we have to say Seared Asparagus. We have to say we need to evaluate one variable versus another because everything is constantly changing and we're not in a controlled environment when we're dealing with economics. The next major important term is opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is the earning opportunity foregone by using a resource in its current employment. So that's a lot of terms, that's a lot of words, but let's go ahead and break it down. What that simply means is whatever resource you have, whether it's labor, equipment, land, your time, anything like that, by what is the opportunity that you could be earning somewhere else if you're doing something else with that resource. So what it is it's the highest value. Could you be earning somewhere else? What is the highest value you could be earning somewhere else? It's also an estimation. So let's go through an example real quick. Let's look at land. You're a farmer. Let's say you're a farmer, you're a rancher, and you're using land for that farming or ranching opportunity. Well, are you giving up something to be able to use that resource in its current employment? So its current employment would be either running cattle on it or doing row crop, whatever you're doing. Let's say you're a farmer, you're planting row crops. Now, by planting row crops, you're using that resource in its current employment, which is the row crops. What if you weren't planting row crops, what else could you be doing with it? Well, you could be leasing it out. Let's say, for example, you could plant on there and earn on average of $5 an acre, or you could lease it out at $7 an acre. Or let's say that you could have an oil and gas company come in and they are willing to pay you $12 an acre to use your land. Well, what is the highest earning opportunity, foregone earning opportunity? Because you're using that land for agriculture, you're giving up using it for lease or leasing that property or letting the oil and gas company use it. So that foregone income, that foregone opportunity is that lease money that you could be earning or that money that the oil and gas could be paying you. So in our example, the highest opportunity foregone is allowing the oil and gas company to come in for $12 an hour. So the opportunity cost of using that land for agriculture would be $12 an hour. That in a nutshell is opportunity cost. Let's look at another example. Let's say that you have a bulldozer, and the bulldozer is on your land. You use that to clear out brush, big trees, anything like that. And you own the tractor, you own the bulldozer, everything's great, but what is the opportunity cost of you being able to use that bulldozer in a different employment? So let's say you use it solely for agriculture. What if you could go out there and be a hired bulldozer operator? Well, that money that you give up by keeping it just for agriculture instead of going out there and being a bulldozer operator, that income that you could be earning as a bulldozer operator, that is your foregone income. That is your foregone opportunity by using the tractor in its current employment. For a lot of traditional college students, labor is an important deal. So they could, if they weren't going to college and not working, they could be working, or if they weren't going to college, they would be working somewhere else. So the money that they would be earning in either a salary or an hourly wage, that is a foregone income, the foregone opportunity by them going to college full time and not really earning anything. So that money that they gave up by being able to work somewhere else is their foregone income. That is their opportunity cost of coming to college. Now, I want to reiterate that it is the highest value. So let's say that a student comes here or goes to Casper College full time. They're not working anywhere, but they could have been working for $20,000 a year, or they could have been working in the oil industry for, say, $40,000 a year. Or they could come to Casper College and really not earn anything. Well, the highest value that they could be earning is at $40,000. So their opportunity cost of coming to college would be that $40,000 that they were giving up. Now this becomes very important in economics because whenever we're doing economic assessments, we try to account for all of the resources. A lot of times you don't consider land, the cost of land, whenever you're doing accounting economics, or you're looking at the accounting amount, because you're really not paying anything for that land unless you're leasing it. Let's say you own it. You don't really add that into your accounting profit. But at the end of the day, it is a resource that is costing you money, and we can find that the amount that it's costing you in that opportunity cost. So it becomes very important whenever you're dealing with economic profit, which is actually discussed in Ag Economics 2 of this here at Casper College. The next major concept that I want to discuss is diminishing returns. Diminishing returns, the definition goes something like this. As additional units are used, the additional impact will increase at a decreasing rate. So what this really means is the bang for your buck decreases. What it means is, yes, you might get more satisfaction or you might get more product out of it, but you don't get as much per unit of input. So let's look at this example down here. Let's say you're a farmer and you're applying fertilizer. Then you've got this crop. So you apply 1 pound of fertilizer, you get 5 units of this crop out. Let's say you apply 2 units of fertilizer, you get 9 units out. Let's say you apply 3 units, you get 12 units out. 4, 14, 5, and 15. Now, what it says, as additional units are used, the additional impact will increase. So you see that this impact is increasing the whole time. We're increasing every single time as we go up from 5 to 15. But then it says at a decreasing rate. So what is the rate of increase? Well, the rate of increase is how much is it increasing by per unit. As we go from 1 to 2 units, we increase by a total of 4 additional units. So the rate increased at a rate of 4 units. As we go from 2 to 3, it increased at a rate of 3 units. As we go from 3 to 4 units in total fertilizer use, it only increased by a rate of 2 units. 4 to 5, it increased by a rate of 1 unit. So what we see here is that, yes, the total is going up, but the rate at which it is going up is actually decreasing. So what we find with diminishing returns is that the total returns increase, but the marginal returns will start beginning to decrease. So it says it'll increase at a decreasing rate. So the bang for the buck decreases. Bang for the buck means how much, whatever you're spending to increase from 1 to 2 units, and then 2 to 3 units, you'll spend the same amount per pound of fertilizer. Let's say it's $3. Here, for the $3 we spent, we got 4 more units out. Here, with the $3 we spent, we only got 3 units out. Here, the $3 we spent, we only got 2 units out. So the bang for the buck, the amount of money that, or the amount of returns you're getting out of it decreases relative to the amount that you're spending on it. So your bang for the buck will wind up decreasing. So then we have 2 different types of diminishing returns. The first one is we have what's called the law of diminishing marginal utility. This deals with the consumers. Whenever we say utility, we often mean satisfaction, how much enjoyment you're getting out of it. So law of diminishing marginal utility deals with consumer satisfaction. So we have the diminishing marginal utility means that the satisfaction that you're getting out of the item will increase at a decreasing rate. An example of that would be pizza. You go and you eat that first slice of pizza, and it tastes really just amazing, and you absolutely love it. You feel like you're in heaven or something like that. Then you go to eat that second slice of pizza. Well, now you're not near as full. You still get enjoyment out of it, otherwise you wouldn't eat it, but it doesn't give you as much satisfaction. So you go to eat that third slice of pizza. Now you're getting fairly full. Although if you're somebody like me and you can feel like half a whole pizza, by the time you get that third slice of pizza, you're still pretty hungry. But let's say that you don't have as big of an appetite, and you get to that third slice of pizza, and now you're not quite as hungry, and now you're debating and saying, I still enjoy that third slice of pizza, but maybe I don't want to eat the fourth. Well, then you go ahead and you eat that fourth, and that last one, you really don't get any satisfaction out of it. So what's happening is your total satisfaction is increasing, but the amount that you're enjoying each new slice of pizza is actually decreasing. So that deals with the law of diminishing marginal utility. The more you consume, the less enjoyment you get out of each individual piece. We also have the law of diminishing marginal product. This deals with the producer side. So this goes into this example down here. As you increase your fertilizer use, you increase your inputs, you get more returns out of it. Your total returns are increasing, but at the end of the day, the amount that it's increasing by is decreasing. So we're saying it's increasing at a decreasing rate. So law of diminishing marginal utility deals with the consumer. Law of diminishing marginal product deals with the producer. So this kind of leads into what I keep saying, the word marginal. We keep using the word marginal a lot. So let's talk about marginality. Let's talk about what marginal means. Marginal means one additional unit. Just one more unit. So we can talk about totals when we're talking about the crop total right here. But whenever we start dealing with marginal, we're looking at if we add 1 more pound of fertilizer, if we eat that next slice of pizza, how much satisfaction are we going to get off of this next slice of pizza? How much output are we going to get off of this one additional crop or this one additional pound of fertilizer? So if we increase by 1 to 2 units, how much do we get out? 4 more units. That's the marginal change. The marginal change from increasing by 1 more unit is 4 in this case. If we go from right here, the marginal change from going to 4 to 5 units, so we increase by 1 additional unit, that marginal change is 1. So it's looking at what happens if we add 1 more unit. Not totals, but 1 more unit. Why does this become very important? It's because economic deals on the margin. Whenever you're looking at the margins, you often decide, well, do I want to buy this extra or put this 1 more pound of fertilizer on? Or do I want to eat that next slice of pizza? So for a consumer, if the marginal utility is greater than the marginal cost, then they're going to consume that next slice of pizza. So let's say, for example, that they're going to eat the 4th slice of pizza. And they say, man, I'm going to get like a little bit of satisfaction out of it. But that pizza costs $4. Is the satisfaction I'm going to get off this fourth slice of pizza enough to offset that $4? Maybe so. But maybe you get to that first slice of pizza and you say, man, this pizza is going to taste awesome and it only costs $4. So the utility I'm going to get off this first slice of pizza is a whole lot more than that cost of that $4. So if the utility that you're going to receive off of that one extra slice of pizza is greater than the additional cost of that pizza, you're going to consume that pizza. And this works for any product, whether it's fruit or vegetables, pizza, beer, anything like that, t-shirts, anything that you want to buy. If the satisfaction that you're going to get off of that one additional unit is greater than the cost of that one additional unit, then you're going to consume that unit. The other side is a producer. We're going to start, this deals with marginal returns versus marginal cost. So down here, let's say that the pound of fertilizer costs $3, and then each crop total is cost $1 or provides you revenue of $1. So this one right here, this will provide $4 more, $3 more, $2 more, and $1 more. So if the marginal cost, if the cost of producing or of using that one additional unit is less than the returns that you're going to get off of it, you're going to produce at that level. So let's say, for example, that 1 to 2 units, if you increase your fertilizer from 1 to 2 pounds, you'll get $4 out of it because that's a marginal returns increase. Well, you're going to do that. You're going to engage in that because it only cost you $3 and you're getting $4 out of it. But now, let's say, for example, that you increase from 2 to 3 pounds. It cost you $3 because you're increasing by a pound, and each pound costs $3, and you get $3 back in returns. Well, now you're kind of indifferent there. You can go ahead and produce there. That's actually where you are going to produce. But let's say you try to increase from 3 to 4 pounds of fertilizer. By increasing from 3 to 4 pounds of fertilizer, it costs you $3, but you only get $2 in return. So this marginal returns is actually less than the marginal cost. You're actually going to be giving up money. You're not going to produce there. You're actually going to produce less because it's costing you more than you're getting in returns. So essentially what marginal means, it means one additional unit. And that's the reason that economics deals on the margin, is because we're looking at, is this one more unit going to give us more satisfaction than it is going to cost us? Now, there's one more thing I want to touch on with diminishing returns. These two work very close hand in hand. So whenever you start dealing with diminishing returns, the law of diminishing returns, it says that eventually you're going to hit this point where the additional impact is going to increase at a decreasing rate. In a lot of cases, what we find is that in the beginning, it begins to increase at an increasing rate, which means that rather than these numbers going down, it actually increases. And it looks something like this. And right here, this the total production is increasing, and you can see it increases all the way up to this point right here where it plateaus. And it will increase, and right around in this area, it's actually increasing at an increasing rate. It's going up faster with more production. And then you hit this point right here where it begins to fall off. Well, it's still increasing, but now it's increasing at a decreasing rate. And then you hit this point right here where it begins to fall off. In every case, you will always find, you might not always find the increasing returns, but you will always find these diminishing returns right here, which is what we're talking about in this aspect. And all the time, it will eventually become negative. So if we think about this in terms of law of diminishing marginal utility. Let's say it's you're eating a slice of pizza. Or another example, well, let's go with pizza. Let's say you eat that first slice of pizza and, it tasted so great. You eat that second slice of pizza and it actually tastes better. You don't know how, but it tastes better. So now you're increasing your total satisfaction at an increasing rate. You go to eat that third slice of pizza. It didn't taste near as good as the second one. You eat that fourth one. It didn't taste near as good as the third one. Well, now it's your satisfaction is still increasing, but at a decreasing rate. And then you get all the way out to about the eighth slice of pizza, and now you're pretty full. You're stuffed. And you say, man, I really want one more slice of pizza because it's free and it's at a pizza party, and you go to eat that one more slice of pizza, and now you're sick to your stomach. You become nauseated, you can't keep your lunch down, and now you actually are hurt from eating that eighth slice of pizza or that ninth slice of pizza. So now that return, that satisfaction, is no longer increasing. It actually decreased. It actually became negative. And you can find that in almost in every case, you find that diminishing marginal returns. You'll find those diminishing returns, and that diminishing returns will eventually become negative.